Hello, friends. Welcome to Akulmach Live. I'm your host, CK. And the well-being of your mental health and your physical health has become very, very important. And one of the method is forest bathing. And to discuss about this important technique, I will be joined by a very senior person from our industry. His name is Kevin Cottam. He's joining us from Singapore today, but he's a Canadian and he's a global nomad, and he's a coach, and he actually training a lot of senior executives around the world. So we are very honored to have him on our show. So without further ado, let's welcome Kevin. Hello, Kevin. How are you doing? Welcome to Akulmach Live.
Thank you very much, Chandra. It's really great to be here with you again. It's been a while. So that's
Absolutely, Kevin. So as you know that we're talking about the forest bathing or jungle bathing, and it seems like that you're going to go to forest and take a shower, but I don't think it is like that. So why don't you tell our viewers what is the meaning of forest bathing?
certainly. Usually it's a different type of showering, actually. So it's not, it can be wet. But no, um, forest bathing, it was first of all organized and developed in Japan in 1982, and it's called Shinrin-Yoku. That's Shinrin-Yoku. And really what it is a slow meditative walk, tech-free, in silence. And it is really about focusing on stimulating and engaging your senses, enlightening, inviting your senses to become alive, as well as absorbing nature. So, what I like to say for breathing is we are part of it, and nature is part of us, and there is no separation. There is this interconnection between us. And so, we go through this forest bathing. It is, as I said, a very slow and take walk, and we really encourage because most people are very limited and a variety of them jogging, having they're not really in nature, they're just in nature. And the thing is that once you start to engage with nature, then there's a variety of different effects that happen to you physically and emotionally. So, and as also mentally, there's so many different factors. And then what is different than walking, just simply walking, is that often people are power walking and they're not actually absorbing, as I was saying, through nature. And so the most important thing is silence, this meditation from the top, looking up, looking down, looking around, sensing and touching. So it's using those senses. Really well.
Kevin, we are experiencing a little bit of sound issue, but nevertheless, let's continue. So let's go to our first question uh, here, which is about the forest bathing. Partially, you have already explained, but how it differs from regular walk in the woods, like hiking. Is it so different from generally going to the forest and hiking around and camping? How it is different?
Hiking is more of a physical workout, and for most people, and it is a more rapid type of walk. And of course, it's very different when you're traveling up mountains or hiking bushes and things like this. It's very different. However, it's more physical workout, even though in Yoku, it is a physical workout. It is though a situation of where it's more slow. It is more meditative. You're not thinking necessarily the physical exertion. You are actually uh, absorbing nature, integrating, opening your developing these astral senses, which are we have become sensitized in our world today because of all technology, concrete buildings that we live in, a lot of decentralization. And now into nature, invigorate, bring that back.
All right, so let's move on to the next question, Kevin, that we have that has been already shared by some of our viewers, and that is, what are the scientifically proven health benefit of forest bathing? And I'm sure a lot of people have benefited, uh, but if you can share the benefits and how the different techniques are being used by you in your classrooms, in your sessions, it will greatly help our viewers.
Um, so first of all, since that how and just this will lead into the scientific aspect is that it was because of the need of a lot of build stress in organization and burnout, variety of different issues that were happening in individuals in Japan, and now it has spread around the world as a process of way to decrease the stress level. So let me take scientific. There's been a lot of actually done on it, research it. It's very interesting. It's continuing a lot of science has been done. It first of all increases the heart rate. You do it slowly, do it meditatively. It also decreases blood pressure. Also, what happens is in nature, the bees they give off oils. These are phytonutrients. So these pesticides are, help us to increase um, the NK cells, which are cells which help to boost our immune uh, uh, system, which is incredible. And then, of course, it helps to increase the cortisol stress effect. So there's many effects, and there is a decreases in stress hormone, the adrenaline, and also the activity of the sympathetic nervous system, which is the vagus nerve, which is extremely important in helping us calm ourselves much more relaxed. And it also increases that activity of the, and it decreases the sympathetic, which is a lot of what they like to call it in the science is preventive medicine by going into, and that's not just for itself. You start to find if you go to lens, if you go to knee, if you start to feel it, you'll have different types of forest bathing. It might, you may not have besides there to help for you still that it, um, from the vagus nerve to increase the stimulation, which therefore allows you to have. So there's a variety of aspects. Psychologically, it's proven to be happier, calmer, um, you more expansive thinking. It increases the creativity because you are wide and you're more sensitized, and your mindset. There is a that can also happen. So there's stories that we have. It's to watch when we are course bathing, and it's also have a conversation about how for them.
All right. So I think there are a great program that you're running for senior executives, because I think it is makes sense for executives to reach out to you, and then you organize the whole program, and then you plan it out, and things like that. So I think it's very very critical for the executives to know that such a senior person like yourself is trying to help them so that they can be more successful in their career, in their companies, in their groups as a leader. I think there are a whole lot of benefits that you can derive from the forest bathing, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's there's an interconnection. So what people are going to go start to have connection, but an because they feel that they're not separate. However, one of the things, I mean, I take people on senior leadership journeys, and these journeys have for 6 months. And part of that is about helping to their nomadic, which is another subject. But the nomadic mindset is interconnected with nature. And so the force is one of the interconnections we use as for example, recently I took through a journey and we went to created garden. So the theme of a particular module was team and developing team movement. And we curated garden. That, you know, as leaders, you are actually gardeners. You have a variety of multiple plants, diverse plants in it. And so you curate your teams. And when you curate them, you need to curate them so they all help each other, so that you have a way of looking at the team, and also that a straight line to think that there are alternatives and different paths in this team that function. So we use as not only as something to help them to distress and block, expand their minds and look at their teams and leadership from a very different point of view that it's already visible in nature. And even if it's a garden, it's telling us about how to lead in a way which is very inclusive, very fits the integration of different species, for example, of species which are called within and kingdom. And so it's a great in learning. And when they went back into the country, it was very interesting how their whole sense was very different. It was calmer, it was more expansive. They were able to connect better. And most problems organizations today is they have to reflect. So going into the course, really a reflection, it helps them to then for themselves to learn more and also expand that to the organization.
One quick question from my side, Kevin, is there is a particular season in which a forest bathing can be done, or throughout the year, any time of the year, we can go and organize a forest bathing camp?
Well, you know, I mean, it depends if you, it depends on what climates you're in, the seasons. I would say absolutely you can go to the forest anytime, even if it's in winter. You can see the snow on the roof of the trees, and you can sense the feeling of what it's like to have a different environment time. And it's all environment, right? And how the environment affects our well-being, also our mind and our spiritual aspect of our life. So there isn't really necessarily a season, because the season is always changing. That is part of the learning by the forest. You observe change, and because most people don't recognize change as, you know, a good thing. Time there's so much stress that is built around change. It's a fear of comfortable, and being nature is a bit uncomfortable, but it helps you to be resilient. It also helps you to adapt. It also helps you to be much more um, wider instead of narrow. So there's a variety of aspects that we use, and so seasonally brings different ways of thinking, feeling, sensing, and so it teaches us every is a season.
All right, so let's move on to the next question that our audience have shared, and that is, how can someone living in a bustling city incorporate the principle of forest bathing into their daily routine? Very, very critical question, Kevin. Um, where how you can city dwellers. I mean, if you're living in the village and up country, it's okay. You can do it like drop of a hat. You can just walk into the forest. But if you're living in an apartment and living in a city, and you're obviously, when you're an executive, you're obviously living in large city, how you can incorporate forest bathing in your daily routine?
It's a great question. It's a really, really good because I live here in and most people say it's a concrete jungle. And however, there's a lot of beautiful parks, created park, there's also some jungle part. So able to go in. Most people do not, or they will go to curated gardens and will run around. They will do yoga or do other things, um, and that's forest bathing as well. It is going to the parks and meditate and to walk. But it is you can seek out a variety of different aspects, but it may be more difficult in some parts of the world that don't have parks, for example. Um, However, some you have sea and go to the sea, and that will help as well because of the salt and the wind that also helps well in your being and helps to relax as well. So it takes a consciousness that it's important for you to disconnect business and concrete and seek out. And one of the things I think is important, even it's not just this, but you take your families to, and it's not just a park to play in, but it's a park to discover and explore because exploring helps that curiosity. And when you see bugs, you see birds, you hear birds, you hear all things, you touch things, you have a state of creativity. This expands you considerably. So you can find you have the consciousness it with it itself, go into nature or even try to take nature trips for yourself, take a retreat, use nature as your friend because nature is always giving. It's giving, it's loving you, it's embracing you. And most people say, "Oh, it's scary." Many people don't like like raining or oh my gosh, there's bugs. Yeah, there's bugs, right? And there's sometimes could be snakes, there could be monkeys, there can be monitor lizards. However, we're going home, right? And we are just guests in their home. And it's the same as what you bring people to your home or to your office. It's the same being. It's the same sense that you need to have. So seeking it out, just go and find the parks. Find also retreats that you can go to. Enjoy nature because this also helps us to understand the preservation of nature. Because of climate change and a variety of aspects of nature is being eroded, and also we need to be able to know that if we have this, we will take care of nature because we're taking care of ourselves.
Certainly, Kevin. I think let's move on to the next question that we have on our list, and that is about the sharing of experience. Any personal stories or where the forest bathing had a profound impact on somebody's mental and physical health. Because you have conducted several programs for
Yes,
so many executives. So it will be great if you can share some of these experience, just in case if there are no copyright violation. Just in case. So you may not mention any names, etc., but you can still share the experience.
certainly. I mean, one absolutely stands out for me. A lot of people are shy, right? And they're introverted. Nature is an incredible place for shy people. One time we were there, I saw two people in our group that were quite shy, and when they introduced themselves, I could barely hear them. And their voice was very low, and they didn't want to be seen. However, I decided I would watch them as they went around in the park and through. And I watched them. They hugged trees. They looked up. They touched the plants. They were in such awe. You could sense the calmness that came over them. And I asked this. And so then at the very end, we do takeaways. And there's one particular person. I asked her what was her takeaway, and I was expecting to not hear very much from her. I could not believe it. It was like a huge transformation. She had this very strong voice and committed and confident voice, and she just said what she took away from it. And one of the things that she said to me about shy people, she says that the forest is non-judgmental. They are not judging us; they are embracing us. They are allowing us to speak or not to speak. They are giving us the calmness. They are our friends. Is nature. So it was so beautiful to see that nature can help shy people to come out in their life. And so then also we've had other experiences where people have spoken about the breathing, how their breathing is very different from when they were before and when they went into the sanctum, we like to call it, the breathing. And they have had these experiences of also other people have had experiences of great creativity and ideas and thoughts that have come out of this, just sitting around and sharing with us. Oh my gosh, I thought about how I could lead my team in a very different way. I could see that there was also aspects of I could understand diversity and inclusion so much better now because I see how nature is all coming together. It doesn't judge one plant from another. We just are helping through sharing our resources. And that is what the nature does. It shares resources, so it stays alive. All the big trees and the very sort of small plants, they're sharing resources with each other. They're speaking under the ground and speaking on top as well. So there's many stories that we can share about the success of what happens in this. And it was very interesting that the last experience that we had in the leadership team journey is the comments that we got in the feedback that how they had so much more appreciation of nature, how they saw that nature really played into their leadership, how nature was part of the organization, and how can they then bring that into the mindset of individuals. And that is where the nomadic mindset comes in, because it really is very helpful in understanding that. So that's something else that people can delve into or connect with me about as well. So yeah, hopefully those are some stories that can be very helpful.
Certainly, Kevin. And we have one viewer. Her name is Tanya. She's from India, and she's asked a question from YouTube. She's watching us in YouTube right now, and she's
Hello.
saying, yeah. So she's saying that I really want to know about the power of healing. So, would you like to take this question?
The power of healing. Well, power of healing is very diverse and it's very expansive thinking about it, and there's all sorts of ways of healing, right? And nature is the biggest healer of all, in my perspective. And science has shown how it is not just physical scientific proof, and it helps. What I wanted to also mention was because that in the science is that because of the different um, phytonosides and the cortisol and the NK cells, this helps the immune system. So there is a connection with cancer. And there is not a full study at this point in time, but there is speculation and suggestion that nature can help us to build our immunity. Therefore, has helped for cancer potential, helping us to not have cancer, which would be wonderful. And it also, we know when a lot of cancer victims and a lot of victims who are very unhealthy, they go into nature and it helps them heal not only mentally, help in allowing themselves to really accept perhaps where their situation is in their health situation, But the healing aspect of it is not only that, but it's also spiritual as well, because the spiritual aspect gives you a lot of a connection, and the connection not only with your own senses and also the natural world as well, and it nurtures this bonding and gives you more gratitude, and also the interconnection, as I was mentioning before, and it also gives you a greater appreciation of environment. So healing is a very big subject, and it's spiritual. Nature is very spiritual. It is also mystical. It is also it helps you in your emotional aspects, your physiological, your mental aspects of your life. So it has a touchstone and every aspect of you. But it's like anything. You have to want it, and you also have to want to allow it to be with you, the nature. So the healing, the whole concept of healing is profound. I would suggest you just go and spend time in nature and feel the difference. But it is all about silence, and also walking silently, connecting to your senses, and because we have been disconnected, and enjoy and see, and you can feel yourself smiling when you're in there, and you can feel yourself warm. It's a beautiful embrace. Hopefully that's you.
Yes, I think, Tanya, your first question probably is answered. Just in case if you have any other question regarding to the first question, you can again ask. You can actually have a discussion with us. No problem with that. Um, so, Kevin, there is a second question, and Tanya is asking that what do we do at the time when we are too confused? How do we get out of that? So, this is a question which is not related to forest bathing, but it's up to you. You want to take it up?
So confusion is often a constriction of your thinking, because we get into what is called an entangled knot, and we cannot see the different possibilities and opportunities. And nature allows you to start disentangling. Many people that come with us, they talk about the fact that they have become much clearer in their thinking, because nature has allowed them to expand. So when you get expansion, um, you then start to get a variety of possibilities and opportunities, because you see them and you're experiencing them. Confusion, as I say, is one that you have so many things, and you don't have any idea how to sort them out. And that is that tension, that entanglement. And we need to be able to expand, and nature will help you to do that. So it's in the expansion, the letting loose, and then seeing what all of the situations that might be help in your life that are confusing. And then you can see them individually, and you can address them, you can look at them. It's the disentanglement that is important here.
There is one more question, and Tanya is asking whether the law of attraction and manifestation, um, is it real? Uh, Basically, what she's saying is that if I think about it, will it happen? Will universe get together and make things happen? Because he's talking about manifestation. So your take on.
I believe in the universe shows us signs all the time. And I believe that if in the law of attraction, once you put it out there, as Deepak Chopra would say, then let the universe deal with the details. So set an intention, then let it go to the universe, and let the universe deal with the details. And do not pressure the universe, because it doesn't have the same time frame that you do. It doesn't have a time frame. It has this intuitive aspect of when is the right time. Uh, it is about tuning into your intuition as well, the law of attraction, and sensing in yourself what is right and what is wrong, and not necessarily thinking I have to be very cognitive about everything. And we become cognitive thinkers, which is very good and it's important. We need it. However, when I was in Kenya doing my research for my book, The Nomadic Mindset, a Maasai warrior said to me, when you're facing a lion, you have to trust your intuition because your intuition works faster than your mind will fit. And at that point, you need to know quick speed, very speed, huge speed. So, you know, the intuition is extremely important for us to trust. Often people will say, "Oh, I had this thought about this project, but no, my mentally I thought okay in a different way, and so I went against my intuition, and then something happened, where you might have been fired or it was not the right choice, and but you come back and say, oh, I thought I should have believed my intuition, and that is really one of the points here. Is that's also part of healing as well, Tanya. And I believe in the law of attraction very much. And I when you allow yourself to do this, then the flow of life becomes much easier and you stop resisting. And part of it is the resisting that we have in our life for fear of a variety of different aspects. And we like to control. So it's about understanding that there's other controllers out there bigger than what we are in some ways of shaping our lives. I have so many situations in my life that have become much more this way in the last, and it's ramping up um, that what I'm sending out there is coming at me in a faster way, and it's because I truly believe in it.
All right. So Tanya says she agrees, and he says that she's going to practice it and etc. So Tanya, thank you for asking the question. Just in case if you have any other question, please do not hesitate. We proceed because we are still going ahead with this interview. You can ask any question anytime during this show. All right, let's move to the next question. We have already discussed about the impact. Next question is about the tips. This is the last question, Kevin. And what are the different tips that you like to share with our viewers? And what are your recommendations and how the viewers can practice forest bathing with or without an instructor? What do you think about this?
Okay, so first of all, you can do a little bit of research because there's a lot of research online today about what is forest bathing. That would be one thing. Second thing is to get the right equipment, is to make sure that you have the right shoes and the right soles that are gripping because of the weather or because it might be slippery, or you may want to have a walking stick. You must make sure that you have, in certain parts of the world, like India, for example, you probably want to have some mosquito repellent. Make sure that you have all of these accoutrements uh, that you want to help you take a few nibbles, and do not throw any garbage into nature. And if you can, if there's garbage, make sure that you take a plastic bag and pick it up. Maybe have some tongs with you so that you can clean up nature as well. And because some people are very messy in nature, that way you are helping nature be as beautiful, and it will respond to you as well in many different ways, giving you what it gives. Um, I would say that to is find a park, a good park, and maybe take a friend, but let the friend know that there is no technology and that you want to be in quiet. And afterwards, we can have a chat about what we want to talk about, having over a makan, having some good food, and a chai, So doing that, make it a social event as well. And what we always do is we come together, and where we go in one place, we also go to a place called Kasari Nakuri, which is great Indian food, and in Singapore, and we enjoy our lunch together. One of the things that we also do is we don't talk about our jobs, or I don't even ask them about what they do when they first come, because I don't want that as a stigma or that as a label. I just see people as a human being coming. So treat yourself to be just a human being, and just allow yourself to be that way. If there are groups, then look them up and see where they are in your city, And if not, just really enjoy to go into silence and use it as meditation. Find a different way of doing this. And it's just always good for your exercise as well, is to walk, because it's a very good thing for your health. So those are some of the tips that I would suggest. There's also books out there on forest bathing. There's also a book called, which I'm just getting now, it's called Good Nature, and it is a book which is talks about the science of not just forest bathing but being in nature. And these are all nature. There's books around trees and understanding trees and what makes them come alive, and the messaging between trees and plants, which is also interesting. So reading is very good about this. And then take action. Take action. And what I would say is at least try once a week to go into a park, spend some time in reflection, and to then, or just go nature walking. If you can't go nature walking, just go into a nice curated park. Have a walk, sit down, reflect, look around, listen to the birds, enjoy. So those are some tips.
Excellent, Kevin. In fact, I would like to add few from my side also. If you are taking a forest bathing in India, then take the mosquito repellent for before and after both. And the second thing is that when you're going on trails, always go on trails which are sort of marked by the authorities. Don't go off trail, because if you
Yes.
don't have knowledge, it can be and in addition to reading about trees, I think you should also read about animals and behavior. I think that is also important. So such a pleasure talking to you, Kevin, after many months, I think. But it's always a pleasure, and thank you for joining back on the channel today.
You're welcome. Just one more thing that I want to say is that it's safety first. Always think of your safety as well. And I think that's what you were alluding to, is not going off trail, but safety is extremely important.
Absolutely right. So, Kevin, thank you so much. It's a beautiful morning here in India, also in Singapore. So, you have a good time, and we will catch up again very soon.
Thank you very much, Chandra. I really appreciate being here with you and speaking about a subject that I absolutely adore.
So, friends, we had a fantastic discussion with Kevin Cottam. Kevin is a very extremely senior colleague, industry colleague, and he works with extremely senior teams across the world. So, if you want to reach out to Kevin, his coordinates are given in the description below. You can reach out to him directly, or you can send us a message. We will make the connection happen. He's a very nice soul, and he will definitely like to help you, just in case if you need any help. So, friends, thanks for watching me live this morning. We will catch up soon again. Bye for now.